Remember Zuma?
Yeah, man. I still play that shit.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Man, Adrian be asking about that game all the time, and I can't find it like on a PlayStation. You can only play it like on
It's
your
still on the
phone.
network.
Is it really?
Yeah.
On PS4?
Yeah.
I'm going to look for it today. Here we go. Hopefully, we got good enough internet today. I think I realized what happened, but before I go too deep, let me go ahead and do this intro.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy Tony Hadnot, aka the Nocturnist, and I am here with my bro
Ken Folk, and we are
Super Hadnot Bros, and we are a podcast about nothing because a conversation about nothing is literally a conversation about any and everything. So we hope you enjoy the show. So yeah, I hope we don't get no glitches today. I did realize that there's a line that's been dug up in my backyard, and it's already glitching.
Oh, okay. I mean, I don't see it, so
no, I saw it. I saw you stopped for about 2 seconds.
Oh, shit,
but there's been a cable been dug up in my backyard, and I'm pretty sure I know who's responsible for that. But I'm gonna have to call the cable company out to rebury that line and maybe even replace it. So anyway, what's been going on this week?
Ain't nothing, man. Getting ready for this turnaround. That's pretty much all I got going on. Went to work. Normal. Normal.
Same here. Nothing unusual. No photo shoots. Just really my main, photography work.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. But man, I saw something yesterday. I was playing around on YouTube, and you know how sometimes you just kind of go down a rabbit hole. You just kind of go wherever with it.
Uh-huh.
I am so late. So, I wasn't all that enthusiastic about getting the PlayStation 5 until I saw what I saw yesterday. Because my gripe has always been, well, I'm seeing gameplay from like PS5 games, and to me they look just kind of like slightly jazzed up PS4 games. But I haven't really been paying attention to the gaming community like I'm used to because, adulting or whatever. But I saw this trailer that came out last year, which that pissed me off because I'm like, why did I not know about this? And it was for this Matrix video game that's getting ready to come out. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay, so I think it's called like Matrix: The Awakening or Awakening or something like that. And so, mind you, this trailer I think came out like last December in 2021.
Okay.
And it was kind of like a free demo. I watched this guy play like a demo of it. Mm-hmm. And so I was looking at it, and it was given like this little disclaimer at the bottom that said like this is more than a video game. It's like an interactive experience or whatever. But I think they were trying to showcase like the rendering of the graphics and all that stuff to really show you how good it really looks or whatever.
Right.
So I sat there and watched it, man, and that shit blew my mind, man. It blew my mind. Now,
what is it based off of? Is it like off the first movie, or is it a collective of all of them?
I think it's just kind of like its own game, its own story.
So I mean, really different from what we would know.
Yeah, I mean, you like Keanu Reeves and all that is in there, and so like from what I saw, they showed like clips from the original movies, but they recreated them in the video game format. Right. But the way it looked was so real. Like Keanu Reeves really looked like it was real. And it really blew my mind. And if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but I think I recall them saying that it was a PlayStation exclusive. So of course, what that means is that whenever they release a PlayStation exclusive, they're going to try to put all the power that PlayStation has into that particular game. So they're going to make it look as good as it gets. Like Uncharted, for instance. You know how Uncharted,
like God of War and whatnot.
Right. The games that PlayStation can really just kind of go 100% hard on.
Yeah.
So I was looking at it, and like I said, man, the realism was like crazy. So you know how minus games like Uncharted and Grand Theft Auto, so on and so forth. You know how like when you see cinematic scenes and the gameplay scenes, the renderings are slightly different. You can kind of tell the difference between the two. Like I say, with Uncharted being like an exception because they just did that flawlessly. But that's kind of how the Matrix is. It looks that good. I mean, like they showed you the overall, the overhead shots of like the city and like how busy it's gonna look, how it looks at day and night, and so on and so forth. It kind of reminded me of the graphics of like the Spider-Man. Remember how Spider-Man looked? Because Spider-Man was
dope.
It kind of had like that vibe to it, but just a little bit more upgraded because it's on the next gen platform. So I started thinking about it, man. I was like, how do these video game markets do that with like their ability to create these graphics, as they get better and better with time? It's like, how do they trick your mind to being like, when it first come out, you're like, oh shit, that shit look dope. But then you look back in retrospect at an old game that we thought looked just as dope and be like,
because it's just better than what we were normally used to. So
I know that, but that's just so weird because like, okay, my first experience, and I'm pretty sure you may have had it too, since we grew up in the same house.
Right.
My first experience with a video game looking dope was probably like Mortal Kombat. Like, as much as I love Street Fighter, I'm a Street Fighter fan till I die.
Mortal Kombat.
But the first Mortal Kombat came out because they had the digitized characters, and it was like real people, like real actors, playing the roles of the characters. And seeing that for the first time as a kid was like,
it was cool. They had blood, they had all kind of stuff going on, so it was completely different. But graphic wise, yeah, it looked cool for that time.
Yeah, at the time, right. So it's just weird how we can go back in retrospect and be like, damn, that shit look mad cheesy.
But even what you're saying, like it looks like it's just a minor upgrade from the 4. The 5 is capable for 8K. So in order for you to actually appreciate it, you got to see it in 8K on the TV.
And maybe, well, I didn't really see it in 8K, but still, just seeing that clip, it looked like I was literally watching a movie. And from what I can see,
but imagine it in 8K.
Yeah, I'm scared to look. It was that trippy.
Right.
But like, I felt the same way about, like, let's say like when PS2 came out, which of course I think, if I'm not mistaken, is it still the best-selling console of all time?
I think it is.
I think it is. I think the PlayStation 2 is like the best-selling console of all time. It was big. PlayStation 2 was big.
Yeah.
But like, I remember the first time seeing a game on that and being like, or even like on Dreamcast, like the first time I saw NFL 2K, I thought I was watching like a real football game, but like, if you look back at it now,
yeah, it's trash. Like, okay, that's just like before Madden and everything, we were playing Game Day. If you go back to Game Day and look at the graphics, all hands are like this. They just
they like real roboty and blocky. It was the same thing with, what was the race car game? Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
remember Gran Turismo? Yeah, the car looked like a bar of soap, but like back then, it looked like a real car. Because I think it was just something that we never had really seen before. Because I think around this time, especially when 3D games started coming out, you were able to get like licensing from different companies, so you can see like real brand names, or like you said, in NFL Game Day. Well, they did it in Madden and like Sega Genesis and all that, but you didn't really get to see the more, I guess, the close to real thing when you started seeing it in 3D on PlayStation, where they could actually use the real players and license the actual teams and all that good stuff. So I don't know, man. I just thought that was kind of weird how it's kind of weird how they can make you think the next gen looks so great and then look back and be like, man, how did we think that looked real?
It's just a mind thing, man. If it's something we never seen before, it's gonna be fascinating, and it's gonna be like, man, that shit look real, and it don't.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with cartoons. Like, if you think about it, you remember that cartoon Reboot?
Yeah.
The 3D cartoon?
Yeah.
Remember when it first came out, it was like, was it one of the earlier forms of computer generated, like CGI animation or whatever?
Yeah.
But when you first saw it, it was like, damn, man.
Yeah, you remember when the X-Men did the cartoon?
Oh, yeah, the end credits.
Like the third season or second, something like that, the end credits, they would have them in 3D, and it was
they were spinning around. Yeah, that shit was cool. But like, again, looking back at it now, you're like, But you know what? I think I could still go back and watch Reboot and say that, I mean, yeah, you could tell it's an old cartoon, but I honestly think Reboot has aged fairly well. To be honest, like
Okay.
I think that's just me personally because like if you took Reboot and then you took a game that came out on PlayStation, Reboot looked a hell of a lot better than the game on PlayStation.
Yeah,
and it came out before, like it came out like right before PlayStation came out, right?
Yeah, right. Maybe like the year before.
Yeah, because PlayStation came out, what, 93, 94, somewhere around there?
You remember exactly when?
I think it was like 94. I don't know, somewhere in like the early to mid 90s.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I mean, it sucked because they killed Dreamcast.
Well, yeah, like when PlayStation 2 came out.
Yeah, I mean, just killed it.
They killed
Dreamcast
Sega.
Was dope.
They killed Sega, period. Like by the time Sega Dreamcast came out, PlayStation was outselling them so bad that it was just an embarrassment. And Sega was like, you know what? Sega was like that SpongeBob meme where it was like, all right, I'm gonna head out. Because they said they were gonna stop. Because they said they was gonna stop. They stopped making hardware.
Yeah, but they were still making the games, and their games are still trash.
Yeah.
Like name a recent or a good Sega game that came out after.
I can't name one because I mean, like you had a few Sonic games that came out, but all they did was just rehash like Sonic Adventure for like the other the competitor consoles or whatever.
That game was not good.
But then they did do Sonic, but that game wasn't good either. The Sonic the Hedgehog like remake when he fell in love with like a human.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This was trash, man. Like you had to walk around and talk to everybody around there and figure all this stuff out. It was just boring as hell. If I'm playing Sonic, I just want to run fast. I don't want to do all this other stuff.
I wonder if Sega could ever try to come back from that. Like, you know, just kind of sitting back and watching and seeing how things go. Maybe just kind of jump back in.
Companies, they'd have to make a brand new character game, all of that stuff to redo it. Unless they can come back and make like a Vector Man or something like that, that's real dope.
They would have to come back and do something really exclusive and make it
really good.
Make it their own and make it really good. So, I mean, hey, look, there's a lot of people who write some dope ass video games, and you know, or what if they partner? Because that's what think about it. The video game companies do that. They'll partner with certain publishers and developers or whatever and do exclusive games. Remember, like for a while, you only saw Capcom games on like Nintendo.
Right.
Back in the day. Like Mega Man was a Nintendo exclusive. When Street Fighter 2 came out and it went to consoles, it went straight to Super Nintendo, which launched Super Nintendo sales
all
through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Because that was something that was unheard of. So I wonder if Sega could do something like that. Maybe like partner with like some game company that is up and coming, but got like some real talent, you know what I'm saying? And like could just throw something out there that's only for Sega and make it work. Because they were good at that at one point. Like Sonic the Hedgehog.
They were over everything.
Yeah, like when Sonic came out, Sonic was killing Mario for a second.
And then Mario now, they got all of the party games. They got all of this stuff. They got the Mario where you can make your own stage and all of that good stuff. Yeah. Whatever. So
well, one thing I think
but they combined though.
Well, one thing about Nintendo is that Nintendo always finds the way to be innovative. They don't really like when it comes to the competition, they always kind of go in another direction. And I think that's what keeps them afloat because like when the Wii came out, that was something that was just completely different from what we were used to, you know, compared to like PS3.
Never seen
it. You know, the games were like super interactive and it was real brilliant because it got people of all demographics involved in video gaming, people who would care less about holding a controller and playing a game, but now
the graphics were ass though, but
the experience
you can tolerate that. Yeah,
it's because like the Wii Sports, when we bought our Wii, the only game I ever had was Wii Sports, and we loved the hell out of it.
I had Wii Sports, and I had something about a hero. Shit.
Was it No More Heroes?
No More Heroes. I had that. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
And that was Nintendo breaking another barrier around that time because Nintendo's always been known to be like a family-friendly company. So like remember they would always make games. That game was like, that game was taking it to the next level. So Well, but you know what? I can't really say that because no, that wasn't the first time Nintendo did that.
I don't know because I mean it's just
they had Killer Instinct. They had Killer Instinct. The Killer Instinct never came out on no other console. It was either it went straight from arcade.
It's a fighting game. They just had some blood and stuff like that.
But it's Nintendo.
True, but it wasn't too bad like No More Heroes. They were cussing and titties going everywhere and stuff. I mean, it was all kind of stuff happening.
Yeah.
But you had to use the nunchuck to slash and do all of that stuff and kill people and drive. So it was cool.
Right. Nah, it was a double experience. So like, you know, I never really want to count Nintendo out the fold because they always do come up with some.
Well, I got the Switch. The Switch is probably one of the best things to ever happen because the whole the handheld is the console. You can put it on the base and you can play it on the TV. But you can just pick it up and keep going.
Right.
Like that's it. The what was it? The little PlayStation one called?
The PlayStation. Oh, you talking about the Vita?
Vita. It was supposed to have those capabilities, but every game couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And you couldn't just plug up and keep going. You would actually have to just download the same game and it'll save your files, but it wouldn't just directly transfer. With that, I take it off the base and just keep going.
You know what? And that's one thing about PlayStation I find very odd. Like if you think about it, PlayStation, like their main consoles always do well, but anytime they do like some sort of an offshoot feature, like the PSP, the Vita, remember they did the virtual reality, they never do good with none of that stuff. That stuff always sucked. The only time I see them do good with anything that wasn't really core PlayStation was like when you came out with games like Rock Band or Guitar Hero and DJ Hero and all that.
Yeah, well, I wonder why they stopped doing them because they were dope, and now it's hard to find.
Because I think all those games were coming out around the time mobile gaming was becoming a thing, and like mobile gaming is big now. Yeah, like a lot of people love mobile games. So I mean, yeah. Well, at the time, it might have been like Bejeweled or something like that. But remember Zuma?
Yeah, man, I still play that shit.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Man, Adrian be asking about that game all the time, and I can't find it like on a PlayStation. You can only play it like on your phone.
On the network.
Is it really?
Yeah.
On PS4?
Yeah.
I'm going to look for it today because she always asks about that game. But yeah, like all those games I think kind of fell off because the mobile gaming was coming into play. But I could see a game like Guitar Hero. I feel like they could have sustained a bigger career if those games came out in the arcades like when we were coming up. Because those interactive games like that were like the bomb. Like even like what is it, Dance Dance Revolution?
Yeah.
Like I remember like that was like right around the time arcades started kind of doing like down. This, but it was like at that very peak. So when you would go there and you see Dance Dance Revolution, you would see people on there just doing all that
tapping and shit. People and everybody was going crazy and shit. And the good thing about it is it be people who couldn't dance or nothing like that. They just liked the game, so they was just doing all the little moves. And people was like bigging them up on that shit. So it was dope.
There's one game I do give credit to that kind of gaming though. Before Dance Dance Revolution, a lot of people probably don't even know what it's called. But you remember Buster Groove?
Buster Groove,
man, Buster Groove was like one of the dopest games. That kind of
dope ass soundtrack.
Actually, it wasn't Buster Groove that came up with that concept first. It was Parappa the Rapper.
Yeah, but it was flat. So I mean, but first time it was dope as hell.
At the time, that was like something we had never seen before. It was just like, man, how did they do this? This is insane, But yeah.
Buster Groove, dope soundtrack. The characters were dope. The dance moves was dope.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
And it was pretty engaging.
Trying to find it. You can't find it on the network.
Got it on the emulator.
Send me that shit.
I said, see, I got it, but it's hard. It's a little. The only thing I would like about the emulator is that it has a little bit of lag to it. So, like, I know that my timing is good, but for some reason, the delay is just a little off.
Yeah.
So it makes the experience kind of. but like just for nostalgia reasons, like I'll still just kind of jump in there. For
Every now and then, I just get on YouTube and watch like footage of the computers doing it or whatever. And
but cool. I almost that would be a dumb question. I was gonna say I almost wonder why arcades are kind of going down, but it's just because console gaming has
got them in house. Ain't no reason.
Say console gaming has been beating it. Like the first time I seen anything that was better than arcade was when I bought my first PlayStation 2, and I had bought Tekken Tag Tournament. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Okay, so on Tekken Tag Tournament, I looked at the difference. I saw it on arcade and I saw it on PlayStation 2. The PlayStation 2 version actually looked better than the arcade version, because in the arcade version it was still like blocky, like how they were in Tekken 3.
Right.
But on the PlayStation 2, they had smoothed them out, and like it just looked way, way, way better, man. So
that was the one that had Tekken points on there, where you can go like the side scrolling and you can hold and all of that stuff.
What's that Tekken Tag? It might have been. It was either that or Tekken 3. I can't remember.
Yeah, I just remember you do the side scrolling one, which is pretty cool because you got to beat them up inside the game, and then you can hold and shit like that or whatever. I mean, it was pretty cool. I like that one.
Yeah. Well, Tekken was another one that just kind of like changed the game, changed the landscape of fighting games altogether. Like that was one of the ones that changed it all. You know, you had Street Fighter come out because that was just something that people had never seen before. The Mortal Kombat came out with the realistic and the fatalities and all that.
Right.
And I mean, like you got to give credit to Virtua Fighter, because Virtua Fighter was like the first 3D fighting game.
It was, but Tekken actually had like actual fighting moves.
Tekken was more realistic, where it was like actual fighting styles and everything.
Grappling,
people could do majority of what they were doing.
Right.
You know, which was really dope. And I think that's what made Tekken such a groundbreaking game, man. And although I suck very much at it, it is still kind of like a game.
I'm not good at that or Soul Calibur.
Soul Calibur is a pretty cool game, but I feel like all it is really is just kind of like an upgrade to Samurai Showdown, which to me,
I was trash at it. I mean, that one is the only one I couldn't really get the moves down,
because games like that, Soul Calibur, and even Samurai Showdown, I recently just learned this. Those games are not the kind of games you play like your average fighting game.
It's
where it's very strategic. Like with Street Fighter and all that, you have all your different characters. You have your Shotos, you have your rush downs and grapplers and all that. So you can do combos and play fast and jump in and out. With those games, it's all about patience and timing, because you're using swords and shit. So it's like
your counter moves are the best thing that you can have.
Your counter moves, right? You're not just trying to go in and just slash. It's like, all right, let me see how he gonna play, and then wait for his attack, and then wait for him to fuck up, and then
Street Fighter
go for the kill,
beat ass.
Well, Street Fighter, I mean, Street Fighter is almost a similar concept, because I've been kind of studying the fighting game community a little more. I've been learning like the terminology and all that, like footsies and whiffing and all that shit.
Right.
But with the sword games, it's like way more strategic.
I mean, of course, like in Street Fighter, I'm not gonna be a button masher or nothing like that, but it's a lot easier to counter, and you can see them project their moves, so I can block.
Right.
And then once they introduce the air blocking, it's almost like, all right, cool, we can go ahead.
Yeah, air blocking is man, that was a lifesaver. That was the first time I saw that. Wasn't it? I know Street Fighter Alpha had came out before X-Men vs. Street Fighter, but I actually think I saw it for the first time in X-Men Street Fighter.
Air blocking, man.
Yeah, which that game, man, I still am in love with that game. That was just something about that game that just made it awesome, and it aged very well.
It did. It's still cool, but then when they kept trying to do it, and they did the Marvel vs. Capcom, this last one in the Infinity, that one is an actual button master. You don't really have to know the moves and that. You can just hit the same button. And
they did that. They actually started that Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I had bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and I gave it back because I was just like, this is too easy to play. I don't like a game that I can just go in there and start mashing buttons. I want to be able to like do real aerial combos and like play the game like it's meant to be played. But I mean, and I understand they try to make it for the casual gamer. The person who doesn't really have experience, but like that's kind of, to me, that's like an unfair advantage to people who love to play the game for real.
Because while you're waiting on something, somebody's pressing one button and doing these ridiculous combos.
Well, I think Street Fighter 6 is going to have that concept. They have,
Really?
yeah, they have it to where it's called the classic button setup, and then you have I don't want to call it beginner, but it's like you could just press certain, like you could press 2 buttons at a time and he'll do a combo,
and it do a combo
or something like that, you know. And I mean, whatever, you know. At the end of the day, if you skilled, you skilled, but like, I just don't like playing against button mashers and doing that kind of stuff.
Every time I see T-Roy, man, he still wants to smoke with you, bro.
Look, T-Roy is.
Every time I see him, he be like, "Tell your brother, I'm ready for that Street Fighter."
And when it comes to Street Fighter, and I know how good I am in Street Fighter. I mean, I'm not like, you know, Justin Wong, Daigo good, but I can hold my own in a game of Street Fighter. And there's very few people who could beat me, but there are 3 people who I played against, like person to person in Street Fighter, that I can honestly say are better than me. That is AJ.
Yeah.
Because I played against him a long time ago, and he just would not give me. I couldn't. Them combos and all that was just on point. Greg is really really
I
really
know.
good at Street Fighter.
I know. I remember when we had the little matchup.
Yeah, but when I played against T-Roy, and look, let's keep it 100. They wasn't just beating the shit out of me,
right?
But it was like I would get right there, and it was always like the comeback moves would just be like, man, my timing would always just be like mad off.
That intensity, man, is
tell T-Roy to calm down, because he got it. He got it. He don't, bro. You got it.
Oh, okay, yeah. So I guess he'll leave it alone now. Yeah.
Let's leave it alone. Because we have been talking about that matchup for like years. I'm talking about
it don't matter. Every time I see him, we chop it up, and he be like, "Tell your brother I want to see him on that Street Fighter."
We talked about this for years, and we finally did. It was one day I was working at the cable company, and I actually happened to go stop by his house, and do a job. And he was like, "So what's up? You want to jump on the Street Fighter?"
I know you on the clock, but you can take this ass whipping on.
Oh, you know, I was like, "All right, come on, let's go." So I sat there for about a good hour.
Yeah,
and we went, and I couldn't get a win.
Yeah, man, we just played. I was over there at Malone house, and he got the I guess it's like the collection or whatever. It was all the Street Fighters on
the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, I think so. And he was just like, we're gonna randomly pick one, and then everybody just kind of go around. I ran through everybody like 3 times, so I was like, all right, I'm about to bounce.
I remember. I don't know. Yeah, that was too easy, because I remember playing against all them, like when we were staying. I can't remember what street it was, but the last house, the one that was on the corner, was it Ogden?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody had came over there one day. All like Malone, his brothers, all them, and I remember playing against all of them and just going around the room like 6 times. They was just like, man, this dude even won with Dawson.
Yeah, man, because
I've been playing this shit.
Pepe was talking like he was ready for it, and he was like, "Oh, you pretty good." I was like,
"Yeah." I remember doing the same thing playing Mortal Kombat. We played at your house when you was over in the Pale Orchard area.
Oh man, when
and Dante and them was there.
Yeah,
and they kept talking their shit, and I'm like, okay, look, I understand your confidence, but I've been doing this for a long time. Like, don't test me on this game.
Right.
And it was the one that came out on PlayStation 3. And I remember I was playing with Smoking New Cybot, and just running through them like it was nuts. I'm talking about fatalities and all that.
No
shit.
Mercy.
No mercy. And that's the thing, which is I tell people all the time, don't put that controller in your child's hand if you're gonna play against me. If you don't know, because I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna let you win. I remember one time, man, I felt bad. I was in Dallas, and my brother-in-law, we went to their house, and he had Soul Calibur, and he was playing. He's cool as hell. Don't get me like mad cool, but he was like, "Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm good at the Soul Calibur." Mind you, I don't really play Soul Calibur like that, but I understand the mechanics of fighting games, so I can get in there and do what I need to do. And he was like, "Man, I'm good. I'm telling you, I'm about to get up in there." And we was playing, and I was mashing, right? Just winning. And he gave the controller to his daughter. He's like, yeah, man, she good too. And this child is my niece. She at the time was like maybe 7. And he was like, she good. Don't hold back on her. Don't hold back on her. I was like,
I wasn't going to. Yeah.
Okay. And we started playing, and you could just kind of see him like, hey man, all right. I'm all right. It was just kind of like that's it.
You'd have to go hard on it like that.
But I gotta stop doing that, man, because like I'm so competitive when it comes to them fighting games. I'm just like,
it's part of it.
Because
you just gotta, to go for it.
Our uncle used to do it to us all the time
with no remorse.
You know, he was the one that taught us how to play Street Fighter. So we'll be there 7, 8 years old player. He was like, he'd be like, yeah, this is how you do a Hadouken.
Okay.
But just
now that I showed you,
just know that's this. So if you're gonna fight, you better fight to win. And we could never win. So I remember the first time I beat him in a game of Street Fighter, I might have been an adult at the time. It was just like, finally the student has surpassed the master.
it took years to be able to actually win. But then after that, he couldn't win anymore. So he just didn't
I mean, after a while, like, well, I don't know, you might have been able to beat the crap out of him, but like it was always a neck and neck. You know, he gets some, and then I get some. But like I knew for a fact that I had a 50% chance of winning, which is fair, you know, which is very fair. So
him,
man. Oh yeah, 100%. But yeah, there's only a few people who could really just kind of beat me in that game. Now, when they come to playing online, that's a different story. There's people who just really literally spend their entire life sitting there online. Like there's been times I get mad, not because they were good, but it was the person that Hadouken, just sit there and spam fireballs all goddamn day. Just sit there and spam.
You into the combo, man.
Oh, I've learned how to. I've learned at this point who to fuck with and who not to. I mean, who to fuck with, who not to. Now, when I see them just spam and I just can't get a chance, I should just sit there and let them win. I just be like, you know what, you got it, because I'm not finna sit here and you're not really letting me fight. You know what I mean? So it's just like, all right, whatever, you win. But yeah, been playing Street Fighter so much now to where I hate those characters. I'm not a big fan of Ken and Ryu and all of them no more because they're so basic.
I mean, you know, Sagat was my dude. So,
well, I know in this newest in Street Fighter 5, Laura has been my character.
Okay,
because she got like she's a bit of a grappler, but she has rush down qualities, so I can jump in and out. Knock out a few combos. I can do a couple of cross ups.
Yeah.
And then, you know, do a couple grabs here and there. So I could always like mix it up on them. But before that in Street Fighter 4, DJ was my dude. And they bringing him back in Street Fighter 6.
Getting that timing down is something ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to actually piece together a lot of combos with the time characters.
Yeah. Oh, you talking about like the charge characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can't make it obvious that you're getting ready to do something like
you have to make it blend.
You got to make it all work seamlessly, but there's ways you can do it with the experience and time. So, and DJ was definitely a charge character, but also DJ shit. You can rush down. You can do some rush down with DJ.
Yeah,
like rush down real good with DJ. His mix-up game was like strong. Like jump over him, do a midway kick, and get in close so that the hitbox would be like behind him instead of in front of him. So you would still kick him even though you jump behind him, and then like duck down and do it like a little sweep and then just go in, man. Man, DJ was a bomb. I can't wait to see him.
I hope they bring him back to, you know, some more games.
Well, he's coming back to Street Fighter 6. He's going to be in Street Fighter 6.
They already announced it. Oh yeah.
They had leaked the character roster.
Yeah, the leak. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they just got to put him out there now.
Right. So, yeah, man, I'm kind of, the more I look at like the trailers and I looked at the Ken release again and it showed the world tour and all that, I'm kind of getting a little bit more excited behind it now.
I am, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Just wait on it to come out. Well, I'm need to wait to get it. It's already out, but
right. Well, at first I was like a little skeptical about it, but yeah, it is what it is. But
did you see the Deadpool trailer for Deadpool 3?
No.
Well, it's not an actual trailer.
Mm-hmm. Is it like a teaser or
little teaser?
Okay.
So he's
okay.
sitting on the couch. Ryan Reynolds, he's just talking, and he's talking about how excited he is for the movie and what they need to do and coming into the MCU and everything. And he was like, we've been working day in and day out trying to figure out what we can do better, and we haven't come up with nothing.
Yeah.
And so when he says that, this guy is just walking around behind the couch, just walking past, and he's about to go up the stairs. And he says, "Hey, Hugh, you want to do another Wolverine?" And he was like, "Sure, why not?" And just kept walking up the stairs. So he's gonna be Wolverine in Deadpool, and I think that shit gonna be dope as hell.
So I wonder if Hugh Jackman's gonna play Wolverine in Deadpool, which that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Do you think that they will bring him back in the X-Men movie? Because X-Men is on their way.
They're on the way. Man, I don't know. It would be nice. But then how would they actually introduce the rest of them if he's already in Deadpool and
Well, I mean, if Deadpool is coming into this MCU, I'm pretty sure Marvel's gonna find a way to tie it all together.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'll definitely have to check out that trailer because I didn't know anything about that.
I'm gonna look it up, man. I saw it on YouTube and I'll send you the link.
But I did see this trailer to this Gotham Knights game. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that actually looked pretty cool. So
yeah,
you're gonna have all of the Bat family.
The Bat family was apparently, I think, you can play any of them, right?
At any moment.
Because I think Batman is apparently dead,
right,
in this game. So
yeah.
Now, of course, that might be just. I feel like that might be a little too obvious of information. So I personally don't think he's all the way
right.
dead.
Just for them to throw it out there and be like, oh,
right, just to bring the attention.
If he's dead, then what are we playing the game for? Like,
right,
what is our purpose? So yeah, I'm pretty sure they got to investigate and find him and whatnot.
Yeah,
but I saw some footage with Red Hood.
Red Hood look like he gonna be my guy.
Yeah,
Red Hood like he gonna be my guy.
Yeah. I'm probably gonna be like, yeah, y'all can have that, do whatever.
You can have Batgirl and all them. I want Red Hood. Nah,
which but it's all the Spider-Man mechanics.
Actually, it's the Batman
mechanics,
Arkham mechanics.
But when Spider-Man came out, they upgraded it a little bit. But it's basically all the same thing. So you're gonna have the same, your the sight to where you can counter when you're fighting. You can
it's gonna be just like the Arkham game.
Yeah, you're gonna have to do a lot of stealth and all of that good stuff.
But that's what makes it so dope, because you really feel like you have that Batman-ish experience.
True, man, but sometimes, like, in the game, you had to be in stealth mode too much. Well, really wanted. Sometimes I just wanted to swoop down and just start whipping ass.
Yeah, but that's what Batman does. Like,
it is, but it made the gameplay long as hell. Because if you got 20 people in a room and you can't be spotted, that takes so damn long.
Hey, but when you're trying to go for that platinum trophy,
you got to do it.
You kind of got to do it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but it's no different than playing like Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid was all that game was completely all stealth. I mean,
you played the Raiden,
the Raiden one, Raiden, whatever. You played those, but those were meant to be high impact action. But that's what I think that was a dope concept with Metal Gear Solid. I thought that's what made the game interesting, that it wasn't about just going in and kicking somebody's ass. It was like, okay, how can you use your mind to get past this game without getting caught at all?
Right. And I used to mess up because I always wanted to use the box for some reason, and then they caught on to
it. You know why? That's because our dumbasses be using the box in the wrong damn place.
Yeah, it's just like this box shouldn't be here.
Yeah. So, oh man, hey, hang on real quick. My battery about to die on my laptop.
Yeah.
Please stand by. All right, we're back on. Okay, so with the box, you would use it at the wrong place, like.
I used it way too much, and it was just dumb as hell. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if you was in a laboratory that had no boxes in it, and it was like
random ass box just sitting,
and you just be like, "I'm gonna hide in this box." I mean, it was too hard to. It was too easy to get caught.
Yeah,
but that game, man, that was pretty innovative. But Uncharted was kind of like a game that was kind of a little bit based on stealth too, if you really think about it.
Yeah, but Uncharted was like playing a movie, man. It was dope because sometimes I didn't know when it was a cutscene. When stuff would happen, I'm like, I didn't do that, but it was part of the game.
Yeah,
and that was when the graphics, you could see that it was basically the same thing. It was seamless to where you didn't have to be like, oh, this game is all blocks until they do a cutscene and they showing you
right.
It's smooth. This was just consistent as
hell.
hell.
Oh no, they did really good with that. But I think Resident Evil 5, was it 5? Yeah, Resident Evil 5 did a pretty good job with that. That was the one we went to Africa.
Yeah,
and they had kind of like those time sequence weird scenes where you had to
it just happened.
Really move. You had to move fast. You had to it was like press right one. You know, that whole thing. So I think the Matrix is gonna have a lot of that in it.
Well, it'll be dope if you can do it like Resident Evil, where you had the 2-player at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And everybody can just maneuver around and do it like that. Because sometimes when you playing a game where there's 2 people on the screen and one of them is just the AI, they don't help out at all.
Man, Sheva used to piss me off.
They don't help out at all.
Sheva used to piss me off. Okay. Can you please go turn on the fucking light switch?
They wouldn't grab ammo for you. They wouldn't grab herbs. They wouldn't grab none of that shit, man. They was just out there just dying.
AI was just 100% trash.
Man, they would piss me off. But then on top of that, I would try to play with other people who never really played them type of games. And
that's not the game.
I save them every time.
I have to play with somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. Like, there's just. But does co-op still? Co-op is back. I mean, because a lot of games, especially like the indie games that they have on PlayStation Network, are a lot of like co-op, like old school, 2-player games.
Right.
You know what game I would like to see get remade?
What's that?
Speaking of which, I need to see them redo X-Men. The arcade.
Yeah, that'll be dope as hell.
The Konami game?
Yeah, write them a letter. Go in there and write them a letter. They'll do it.
That'd be cool as hell, man. Just bring it back, put it in like a little bit of a high def 3D environment. And if they could do that with all the Konami beat 'em ups from back in the day, man, that would be great, because Konami was killing it with back in the day.
Right. But they tried to do everything because DC, they got DC Universe. DC Universe is dope as hell because you can make your own character, go out there, build up, get your own powers, do all of that stuff. Marvel tried to do the one. You ever played Omega?
No, I don't think I played Omega, but I remember playing something similar. Was it maybe it wasn't the same game. Never mind.
It was Omega, I'm pretty sure. I hated it because you just had to pick a character. So when you get out there, you see 97 Deadpools running around. So it wasn't like it was something that you did or something that you created. So everybody looked exactly the same. You couldn't alter them. They didn't have different costumes, none of that stuff. Man. It was just, I was like, y'all gave it a shot, but come on, man, follow the concept. It would have been cool as hell.
It could have been better. It could have been done better. That's what it sounded like to me. That's whack. Come on, Marvel. Come on. Step your game up, man.
Step it up, goddammit.
Fuck y'all doing?
Y'all did trash.
But, well, I'm not about to go in there because we talked about that already. They already kind of losing me with the movies anyway. So they got to come up. They got to do something. I did hear that they were remaking. They're bringing back the X-Men cartoon. It's going to be called X-Men 97.
They're supposed to be bringing it back with new episodes and stuff.
So I wonder if it's going to be like the same animation or...
I really don't want them to do the same animation because they go try too hard to make it look like that, and it's just not gonna work unless they can just do it like the first season, because it got watered down after a while.
No, but that was what was weird about it, because it jumped back and forth throughout certain episodes.
Yeah,
like they had some episodes that looked just like how the first season did, but then every so often they would make an episode that just looked really shitty. Like
it was cheap as hell.
It looked bad. Like the last episode, the final episode looked horrible.
Yeah,
like really, really, really bad. But if they could stay away from that shit, I'd be cool. I'd be cool as hell. Because
I'm waiting on it.
Yeah, that would be good, man. They don't really make a lot of good cartoons like that no more.
Nah, man. Like I said, I just been watching that Bastard, and I just watched Cyberpunk. You know, I watched that one. That was dope. But
I wonder why they named that cartoon that.
You gotta watch it, and you understand.
Oh, I mean, because I'm just saying, like the concept. I'm just trying to think what the creative meaning was like. You know, we should just make a cartoon called Bastard. Like,
you have to watch it.
You couldn't be in your classroom in the second grade talking about this cartoon, and you're innocent to talk about cartoons. Because, like, hey, you see a new cartoon called Bastard, and you just like go to detention.
Fuck out of here. But it's not a show like I can't watch it at work or whatever. Because if anybody walks by and look at my phone, they'll be like, "Yeah, you watch it, bro." There's a lot of fondling going on in there and stuff like that.
I mean, it's Japanese. What?
Yeah, but it's a lot.
It's Japanese anime. What do you?
It's a lot.
I say they do that in a lot of their cartoons. You know, hell, I'm pretty sure some of the shit that they give us over here cut out a lot of shit that they do over there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked if Pokemon has some weird shit going on.
I would hope not.
I'm just saying they can go like I know they had to cut some shit out of like the Dragon Ball cartoons.
Oh, of course,
like the old school Dragon Ball.
Man, he had a hole in his body and they filled it in.
I'm talking about old school Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball. Yeah. Like I'm pretty sure they had to cut a lot of shit out of that they before they came over here to America because you know America can be real.
Man, I can't wait till they do some more episodes of the Dragon Ball Legend.
What's that? Wait, what?
The fan made one.
I think I watched some of that. Was that the? I know what you're talking about.
It was a short clip. It was
yeah.
That if they can get some more episodes of that or whatever, man, that shit gonna be fire.
Yeah,
because everybody I showed it to that liked Dragon Ball, they wasn't understanding. They said it at the beginning. This is the characters, but it's a whole new story. And they was like, man, that shit didn't happen like that. That didn't happen. It's not supposed to be like that. This is a whole new story. Just go with it. Let it happen, man. But
well, the next time somebody say something like that, just slap the shit out of them.
Gotcha. Do it just like that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of people who think they know everything when it comes to that kind of stuff. I really be wanting to just like choke the shit out of them. Like I remember one time I had a dude like give me this hardcore conversation about the Ninja Turtles and was talking about how they were like produced by Marvel, and I was like, "What? You're no longer worthy of my time."
Yeah. He doesn't. No more discussion. You just get up and walk off.
Like we can't even be friends. Like we can't even be associates. Not even acquaintances. Like
why would he even think that shit?
Because some people just think they know everything, and then
that's just like people who say Wolverine is X-Man.
That used to bug the hell out of me.
I hate that shit.
Oh, that used to bug me.
Oh, they like X-Men.
There's so many more people in the X-Men. Wolverine is not the only one. Yes, he may be the flagship character, but at the end of the day, he's not the X-Man.
It's called X-Men for a reason.
And X-Men.
Right. Hey, man, they go X-Men right there.
Yeah, some people are stupid. I remember that when we were like younger, people would say that, oh, here come X-Men. It's not X-Men, motherfucker. That's Wolverine. Shut your dumb ass up.
Talking about Ninja Turtles, though, did you see the fan-made one that they did of The Last Ronin? They did like a little 3D the CGI.
Nah.
That one. It looks pretty goddamn cool.
Oh, okay.
They can tweak it a little bit, but if they can actually turn that into something we can watch rather than just the comic books, that'll be cool as shit. Because you haven't read The Last Ronin, huh? I got the books over there.
All right, I have to check it out. Well, you know, Seth Rogen is doing a Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah, I know, and been doing a lot of reading up on it, so we just got to wait and see what's gonna happen.
I'm curious to know because Seth Rogen is like a part of our demographic. He might be like a couple years older than me, so I'm pretty sure he grew up with the Ninja Turtles, and that's one thing I can appreciate about like stuff comic book wise made now is that the people who grew up with it can get it a little bit more. And I'm not saying it has to be exactly like the source material, but like they can make it more interesting and believable, and not let Hollywood take control of it like they did back in the 90s. Remember, like when Street Fighter came out, the movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme, how shitty that was.
But did you watch it, man?
They got a movie?
No, the series, the cartoon series, that the last one that just came out.
I tried to watch like the first episode. I know he like basically died like really fast.
It shouldn't have been called He-Man.
Yeah, but I'd have to go back and follow it because I never really. I don't know, man. A lot of stuff don't really be holding my attention no more.
That's the whole thing. But you're saying that, like, yeah, because they enjoyed it, they watched it growing up. You'd think they have a better take on it, but he ruined that shit. Because you know it's the guy off of Jay and Silent Bob. What's his face?
Kevin Smith.
Yeah, he ruined that shit. It was.
Yeah, I don't be knowing about what Kevin Smith sometimes, man, because he's such an adamant fan about comics. Like he's all about nerd culture and stuff like that. But a lot of stuff he be doing be like trash.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it's like you would think that because they excited about it, it's gonna be a new story. You got some new concepts. It's the animation looked great, but as far as the story, it just wasn't worth it. He-Man, you probably saw him in 2 episodes.
Right. Yeah, I remember him like not being in it very long. But the one thing that I could say was really dope storytelling wise was probably the Street Fighter Assassin's 5th series.
Yeah, it was cool.
Remember that was cool. I mean, it could have been better, but based on like with the budget that they had to make it, I thought they did an incredible job. It was way better than, because let me tell you something, not Capcom, but just the movie makers period have been pissing me off, right? Like even as a kid, you know, you would think that you would get excited behind seeing the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Right.
But like just me being me, it was like, man, that's some bullshit. Like
it was stupid as hell. Like
this shit is garbage. Now I do hear a lot of people say, I mean, well, not a lot of people say, I can't say that Raul Julia did the best for what he could at the time, playing Bison.
Yeah.
But in terms of the overall movie, it was just like, this shit out of it. Like
it was stupid.
Like if I was sitting at a dinner table watching, I would just like after the end credits, just get up and just flip the table over, you know. But then remember they did The Legend of Chun-Li, and I was like, oh, this is back in like the mid 2000s.
I didn't watch that one.
Me neither, because when I saw the trailer, I was like, I know how this is gonna go.
Yeah, I didn't see
like that. Ain't that crazy how you can watch a trailer and be like, nah, this ain't gonna be it.
Yeah,
like remember they did the Dragon. Remember when they tried to do the Dragon Ball movie? I saw it. No, I didn't, because I didn't. When I saw the trailer, I was like, nope.
Bruh, it's the weakest movie I've ever seen in my life. It was worse than the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Okay. So the first Mortal Kombat movie in retrospect is a little shitty. But still, I could still sit here and watch that movie and be like, you know.
I watch it at least once a month.
Yeah, I said, I fuck with it.
Yeah.
But then they came out with Mortal Kombat Annihilation. That was trash. But they fucked us bad with this last one. Man.
Bro, the character, the whoever the fuck that new dude is, I hope they never put him in a game. He doesn't belong in a game at all. What was his powers exactly?
I don't know, because I turned it off like 30 minutes after.
So you didn't finish it?
No, I couldn't. Because I'm telling you.
You saw the best part of the movie, though. If the
beginning.
The very beginning. That was it.
Which I could have just fucking watched the trailer and been happy with that.
Pretty much. But the first 8 minutes, after that, the movie just went down.
Oh, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they suckered us in.
I honestly think they did that shit on purpose.
Yeah,
I feel like they was like, let's get these assholes and let's create a Mortal Kombat movie and make it really good. We know that everybody loves Scorpion and Sub-Zero, so we're gonna start it off with that fight, and they're gonna go real hard and have this crazy fight, and then after the end of the movie, it's just gonna be trash. Like they probably literally did that in the writers' room and made a ton of money off of that.
Okay, so the stupidest part about it is, you know, in Mortal Kombat, people just came as they were and went to the tournament.
Right.
In order for them to get to the tournament, they had to have a tattoo of the dragon, but you had to earn it. And so, like, if somebody had the tattoo on and you killed them, it would transfer to you, and now you.
I think I'm about to have a temper tantrum.
That
is ridiculous.
It's warranted. You can have one.
But it wasn't even just that. It was just the way it looked was bad.
The main character, I didn't know who the hell he was the whole movie. But then I was like, oh, it's a new person. Okay, cool. But he had to learn how to fight. He had to do all of this stuff. And his powers was like, he was a descendant from Scorpion.
Yeah.
So you think he gonna be cool as shit. His body like wraps up with the rope, basically. That's pretty much what covers his body, and it looked like shit. And on one arm, it's a blade, and the other arm is like a baton. That was it.
Did he at least say, "Get the fuck over here"?
No, because he couldn't project them out. It was just attached to the forearm, like Batman. They were just here.
It's just horrible.
Bro, it was hard.
But I remember sitting there, and I was like you said, the very beginning was the best part. I'm like, yeah, this shit about to go hard. I think
after that.
I think I was high too. So I was just like, oh, this is about to be real good.
After that was a wrap.
It blew my shit. Because I was sitting here. So of course, you get that part, and then you got to get into some storytelling. So like I always say, it always kind of has to run a little slow. And so I was like, okay, whatever. And then like time just went on, and I'm just like, what the fuck is it? And I think I turned it off at a part where I saw them sitting on top of like a mountain or something like that. And it was like Shang Tsung character. I was just like, what is?
I remember that part.
It felt like I was watching a soap opera.
They were like they were there and whatnot, and they were getting their team together and shit. Yeah,
it looked so bad. I felt like I was watching a soap opera in a fantasy world. Like it was just like
it was stupid as shit. Like because it made no sense. It really just didn't. The teams that they had and everything, the people who were collabing. It was just dumb as hell.
The acting was terrible. Like those TV series from the 90s that used to come on Fox had better acting than that shit. You know, what I'm talking about, like Baywatch and Hercules and all that.
Yeah.
They had better acting than they did on that shit. That shit was trash. Which I still don't understand how those shows are like so popular, because those shows are popular as hell.
Because they was on every day, and sometimes you didn't have nothing else to watch.
Oh, and sex also sells too. Baywatch, at that time, Baywatch was like risky.
Oh, yeah.
You look at it now and it's like, oh, they just running wearing one-piece bathing suits, but the slow motion running on the beach with their little surfboard, whatever.
Yeah, the little lifesaver thing.
Yeah, but I don't understand how any of those shows are good. Even like going back and watching like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Come on, man. Like don't act like the first two movies wasn't dope.
You like Zeo Turbo?
Oh man, you remember when they turned into the frogs and they turned the ninjas?
Okay, I look back at it now.
They were ninjas.
Yeah, I remember. It was only cool because we saw them as ninjas. Yeah. I'm saying, but go back and watch it now. Tell me if you like it now.
Of course, I'm an adult. I get it, but yeah, at the time
that means the age. Now, look. Don't get me wrong. I still fuck with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, if it's on Netflix, I'll watch it and laugh my ass off at that shit because it's so stupid. But it was dope. And I think what I enjoyed most about it was because I don't understand how fucking Saban got away with that shit. All they did was just take the footage from the original Japanese Super Sentai series
when they were fully clothed.
Yeah, and just throw it in here and be like, all right, let's just throw this clip in here and throw this clip in there. I did like watching the Japanese scenes because I don't know, maybe I just like Japanese culture or some shit. But it was cool just seeing that. But for some odd reason, like after a while, like a little bit after the White Ranger came into play, it was just kind of like, it's not so good.
Green Ranger was dope.
Green Ranger will forever be the best Power Ranger ever.
He whipped everybody ass by himself.
Man, that dude, remember he grew. Remember at one point he
didn't need his damn sword. He was like, oh, for real? Play that little thing. But he can play a flute with a mask on.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He can do it through the mask.
That's pretty goddamn talented.
That's impressive, bro.
That's very
There was no hole in there or nothing. Played that flute.
But I remember when he jumped in that Megazord and whooped all their ass.
They thought they was safe. That nigga was like, "Oh, for real?" That nigga went in there and he beat them out of the damn thing. He threw them all out. It was sparks going everywhere.
He Uncle Phil'd all the Power Rangers.
They didn't know what to do. They was like, "Oh, we were supposed to be safe in here, man." This nigga bust in that motherfucker.
Yeah,
he didn't have time for no games or whatever, man. That dude that was full on villain.
But yeah, Power Rangers was kind of dope until they went right before they went into Power Rangers Zeo. Then it was kind of like, I'm cool.
Yeah, now it's way too many of them.
Yeah, like they be doing them now where they mix them all up and shit. Like
have you seen the one where it was like every last one of them all got together?
Yeah. So the entire episode is just them all morphing. It's like Fire Zoid, Power Rangers, Space Galaxy, Power Rangers Ninja.
It was 97 of them doing morphing.
And then when they all finally turn their Power Rangers, they all stand in the group and you see like fireworks shoot up behind them and all that.
That's it.
And then they go to the credits. It's just
that's all you really need though.
But yeah, like that's how they do it now. I don't understand how they do. You know, the Green Ranger live here.
Word.
He in Humble. He lives in Houston. He lives in Humble. Yeah, he got a school not too far from here, a karate school.
Go check that shit out.
But I mean, you know, he always at conventions, and so he's probably never here. But he does have. Nah, he didn't. You know, old man. You know what I'm saying? It'd be kind of funny though, because I don't know if you be watching like Bat in the Sun, where they do the superhero beatdowns.
The matchups.
Yeah, it's like Scorpion versus White Ranger.
I'll be watching the.
You be probably watching. You be watching Boomstick and Ozu.
Yeah, Boomstick. Yeah.
Okay, so you never seen Scorpion versus Red Ranger or Ryu versus Green Ranger?
Like the live action. Yeah,
those are the Bat in the Sun.
I know who it was. Okay,
those are Bat in the Sun. So you know he be in those. That'd be really him. Yeah. But it'd be kind of funny though because he done got a little older. So when he put on the Power Ranger outfit, he'd be like, he'd be a little chunky.
Yeah,
chunky Green Ranger. That shit be kind of funny. That motherfucker still be moving though. Motherfucker still be fighting. He still be doing all that.
When they had the battle,
they did.
Or they the ones who do both.
They do alternate endings.
Okay, see, Boomstick, they don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they I like them a little bit better because they try to be a little unbiased. I feel like Bat in the Sun is more biased because he is a part of it, so they always make him win. And I'm like, really, Scorpion, bro? Like he's the undead. Like you can't kill a ghost.
Some of them are biased when it comes to like Batman. Batman for some reason wins a lot of those.
I'm so sick of people letting Batman win. It's just I think we had that conversation already. It's
right.
Like,
he can work his way out of anything because he's so fucking smart.
Because he's so smart.
Yeah, get the hell out of here.
No. Okay, so you put Batman in an octagon with Superman. No gadgets.
One punch. That's
one punch gonna kill us. That's why I get mad about the Dark Knight, Return of the Dark Knight. Yeah. Like I think it's cool. Like I get it story wise, it makes a lot of sense for him to be able to use his intelligence to beat Superman.
Right.
So like he had to wear a suit. Like he had to wear a suit. That was like his version of the Hulkbuster.
But it didn't matter because he can hear you moving. You can hear your heartbeat wherever you at. He know what you about to do. And he's supposed to be so fast he can reverse time. He can get to you as fast as he wants to. So I mean, come on, man. That's just dumb as hell.
That made me think about the college humor, The Bad Man with Pete Holmes.
Yeah, that's just hilarious.
And when
hilarious.
When Superman came to come help out, and him and Jim Gordon was like double teaming on him.
Yeah,
he was like, "You're fucking white bread," because he was like, "You're so bored because it's true." It's like, yeah, I mean, it's cool to be Superman because you could literally do anything, but at the end of the day, like that's what makes you kind of boring because you can't be challenged. Like there's nothing that can be done.
Right.
But I remember he was talking about the suit, and he was like, yes, the S on my chest means hope. And Batman was like, well, what does this mean? Gratitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's good shit.
Those are hilarious, man. But yeah, man, that shit is fucking hilarious. I just wish people would stop getting on Batman nuts on that part about him being outsmarted. Like, let's just take Bruce Wayne in a position, put Bruce Wayne in a position where he was in a room with nothing, with no access to nothing. You put him and with anybody, let's say against Wolverine. I can't see him even win a fight against Wolverine. Wolverine killed the shit out of Batman.
There's no way he can win him.
Wolverine can't die. So it's like, I mean,
that's
he can die, but it's very hard to kill him.
He couldn't beat up Jubilee.
Yeah, he couldn't, because all she gonna do is fucking go 4th of July on his ass.
That's it.
Which, and her powers are so fucking lame. Like, no, Dazzler.
Yeah.
She could turn light into energy. Like, what the hell was Stan Lee and them thinking on that, man? Hey, check this out. Check this out. Like, can you see
me to like that cigarette?
Because that would be that's actually funny as hell. Because you know how X-Men, when they go on their team missions, everybody has a player role. Like, hey, Dazzler, it's dark here. You think it gives us a little light? Yeah, sure, boss. That's got to be whack as hell. That's like Meg in Super Griffins and all her fingernails. That's like the X-Men equivalent of that. Like, all she can do is light shit up. Who else is another useless ass superhero? I think Green Lantern's kind of stupid, to be honest with you.
Why you say that?
Because all he has is a fucking mood ring. You know, Green Lantern would be a lot cooler if he didn't do the shit he did with his mood ring. Like, he creates like baseball mittens to catch people in outer space.
Yeah.
Like,
he's not creative enough.
I'm not gonna say that.
Some really cool shit. I'd be having dragons coming around doing all kind of shit.
If I'm gonna do stuff with my mood ring, I'm gonna do shit that looks visually cool as hell. I'm not gonna be like.
It's funny that you keep calling it a mood ring, but I feel you.
What else is it?
You're right.
I mean, it is based on like willpower.
Yeah, but then they made it like the worst shit ever. The only thing that can really hurt them is yellow.
Can you see him in the Hall of Justice and somebody walking with a banner and he's like, "Ah, put that shit away! Put that shit away!" Like,
I just carry a yield sign everywhere. I beat them every time.
Big facts. Just wear yellow all day long.
Yeah.
Like that's what Batman would do in a fight. He just put on a yellow bat suit.
Yeah, but
and then Green Lantern be like, "All right, I'm out." Huh?
Yeah, because I saw the one where he had the contingency plans for everybody and stuff, and his was to make him. He gave him the scarecrow poison and made him think all his worst shit. But I'm like, you could have easily handled him way better than that. But whatever.
I mean, but does the scarecrow poison? That would kind of piss me off a little bit, because if the scarecrow poison only made him see yellow, wouldn't that be kind of fucked up? Because I mean, was he really afraid of yellow before he became Green Lantern?
No.
Like, I mean, I'm just thinking, like, if I was Hal Jordan and I had met the little alien when he was dying, and he was just like, "Hey, take this ring. It's gonna make you so powerful, but you just can't be around the color yellow." I can't see myself being in that situation. I'd be like, I mean, "Get the fuck out of here!" Like, I'd be like on that shit.
I'd just be like,
"You know what? You can have this." If the color yellow gonna make me weak, I'd rather just be mortal. Like, just
yeah. I mean, it serves me no purpose.
Yeah, and that'd be it. I'll just wait for the rest of the military to come save me from my plane crash and keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know.
So
yeah, Green Lantern kind of sucks. He's not my favorite hero.
And everybody from the Eternals kind of pissed me off or whatever, because they all had to be together to defeat one thing. Like, they all had such individual powers that they wasn't strong enough separately. They had to do it as a group.
That movie wasn't good to me.
It was stupid. Yeah,
I ain't too much care for it. I wasn't a fan. But I'm not about to go into that conversation again.
No, not at all. It's just trash.
It just wasn't a good movie. So, like, now when these Marvel movies come out, I kind of take them with a grain of salt and just be like, it is what it is. You know, if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. Like, I know I'll see it at some point just because I'm a fan of Marvel. But like, the hype doesn't get me there, you know.
No, not at all. Like, I'm scared to watch the Secret Scrolls and all of that.
Secret Invasion and all that.
The Secret Wars, all of that. I don't know how that's gonna work itself out.
Yeah, so I don't know. I guess we'll just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah,
but it is what it is, man. Bunch of bullshit is what I like to say. So.
Bunch of bullshit.
So, dang, that just ran slow real quick. Nah, it happens. I mean, we've been on for an hour and 10 minutes, so I think we good.
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess it's about time for do those shout outs.
Shout out.
Big shout out to our patron this month. Thank you, Crystal Saldana, for your support. We really do appreciate it, you know, for supporting the show, helping spread the word. We actually see what you're doing out there, so that really means a lot to us. And if you do want to continue, you know, for all those who want to support the show, all you gotta do is visit our Patreon page at Super Hadnot Bros. You just see it on the ticker at the bottom of the screen, and it's also in the links listed below. Also, please do not forget to like, do not forget to comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. We are still looking for those 1,000 subscribers. Please come on hop up in here. You know, show us some love, help us grow this thing so we can create more content and be able to produce better quality for you guys. And then what else? What else do I need? Oh, we're not doing merchandise right now.
No, not right
now. Hang tight
on
merchandise. Merchandise will be coming pretty soon. And then other than that, do you have any shout outs, anything?
No, man. I just appreciate everybody watching.
All right, same here. And with that being said, we do appreciate you guys. And until next time, peace.